it's Sue, and today I am continuing my alphabet challenge with the letter E. So let's get right into it. So I've watched a lot of movies, mainly Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility, where there are a lot of characters whom I really like, whose name starts with the letter E. However, with the new Enola Holmes movie coming out this summer, I think. And with how much I enjoy watching this movie with my mom and older sister, I found it only fitting to draw Enola Holmes. Now, if you watched my Captain America video, you will know that when I draw actors or real life people from movies, I like to make them look like the actor. However, I am not very good at capturing likenesses. So I tried my best with this one and tried to stick pretty close to the reference I was following, but in the end I don't know if it ends up really looking like her. So I guess you guys can decide whether it does. I think the main place I messed up was the way I did the hair. I think I let it come too far down over the forehead and I needed to pin it up a little bit more. But I do still like how the picture turned out. So I am gonna apologize for the quality of this video. It is a little bit it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? The quality isn't as high as in my other videos, and that's because I accidentally filmed the entire video sideways. So then I had to flip it and then scale it up. So that is why it's like this. What happens is if I turn on my screen recording program and my tablet is flipped one way, and then I decide, I want to film this the other way, and I flip it while the screen recorder is still going, the recorder doesn't understand that it flipped, and it continues to record it the opposite orientation. I think that was a motorcycle. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So basically the entire thing was sideways, and for some reason, whenever I remove the intro, it flips back that way, or crops it. So it's really weird, and I was having a lot of trouble editing this video, but I did manage to get it to flip the right way in the end. Here I've been working on the second sketch layer for a little while now, and I was trying to make sure I studied the reference and saw where they put the wrinkles on her outfit, because the material of her outfit was different than what I usually do, and I wanted to make sure I captured that in the art. So I really like her outfit actually in the second movie. It's pretty cute. I mean, of course, I would never wear it. It's like an 1800s outfit, but it looks good on her. So here I was pretty much done with the sketch. I moved some of the features around more. And I was playing around with those eyes a lot because obviously eyes are not that big. Of course, I flipped the canvas and got a pretty horrific sight. Everything was skewed to the left, I think. Or maybe the right, I can't tell. Because it's so confusing, because are you talking about your right or the character's right? It's just, But anyway, I moved on to the line art after that and tried to put some detail into it because that's what I like doing. And I made sure to make her hair a little bit more unruly because she is a little bit of a wild child. And, of course, she's not that young, but still. And she doesn't really keep her hair as neat. However, the reference I was looking at, her hair was a lot neater, so maybe I should have stuck to that a little bit more. I do change a couple of her features later. Like always, I've always come back to these drawings after I finish them and change them, so she does end up looking a little bit more like her after I do that. I had her nails originally kind of long because sometimes that's how I like drawing fingers, but she's not the kind of person who would keep the long nails, so I ended up shrinking those. And I was having a lot of trouble with this hand. It doesn't look quite right. And the middle finger is shorter than all the other ones, which is not anatomically correct until I kind of fixed it there, but it's still not quite right. I continued with the line art, and that was pretty much it for this bit. So we can kind of skip along to where I began rendering. So first order of business was to apply some blush. Now I applied it mostly to the bottom of her cheeks because in the reference that's where it was. So just to stay kind of accurate, I wanted to kind of capture the planes of the face a little bit more. I did that. I used a layer set to multiply and began shading in the arm. And the shadows on this dress thing she's wearing, it's definitely a different kind of dress, but it is a dress nonetheless. The shadows were pretty deep, so I had to make sure to exaggerate those a little bit more, and I usually do with a picture that is rendered in more normal lighting. I then went in, and I believe I added a couple more shadows, of course, but I added in a highlight, and did it around where I was in the picture and made sure to blend it out because it was like kind of looked like a satiny material or something more like that. And so I was trying to capture that a little bit more. I don't know if I completely succeeded. Then I moved on to the face where I started shading in. Tried to get the structure of her nose and under her eyelids and stuff. I couldn't shade everything completely accurately because of the way the hair was, and I do fade this out a lot more. I swear I don't make her look like an old lady. But right now I was just trying to get in the shading onto her, and then I blurred a lot of it out to change things up. I was trying to capture her dimple thingy, but that was really working without making her look significantly older than she is. I shaded under the nose, blurred that out even more, and I shaded the lips. I added some shading to the hair and then come back even later and add even more shading to the hair to deepen it up behind her head. I didn't spend too much time rendering her hair. I feel like that's the only thing that I would really completely change about this drawing, because her hair feels a little out of place because I didn't spend nearly as much time on it as I did anything else. I added a bunch of flyaways because I thought they'd be cute, and I actually do really like them. So I was about to say cool. I don't know if having super messy hair is cool, but I mean, it could be depending on who's doing it. Anyway, I added a shadow to the bottom of the picture because I wanted to deepen it up down there because it was in my reference, and I shaded the gold buttons with a kind of greenish yellow to make it look more like gold, because I heard someone say somewhere that when you shade gold you should add a little bit of green to the shadows. I added some highlights to her nose and cheek, and I believe I added a couple more to the hair and to the back of the hand. Then I go in and add another layer of shadows and extend them more. This is where I come back and add more shadows to the hair, because I started accidentally shading on there, and then I just ended up continuing it with a brown, so that would fit in better. And at this point I was nearing the end of the rendering process, but I wasn't entirely happy with the piece. So I end up at saving the picture as a PNG and adding filters as I usually do, because that is the only thing I seem to be able to make myself like the piece with. I don't know. I just like adding filters to my hair. I added some deeper shadows to the face, and you saw me just add new highlights to the hair. I tried the anime background on this one. Usually I like it more. This time I actually didn't. I think I preferred the original colors, which is good. I might be cured of my incurable disease, apparently. I adjusted the color balance a little bit and scaled the picture up and then signed it. But then I came back later and ended up enlarging the nose because it was too small. And I also end up thickening up the eyebrows, and it does look a little bit more like Millie Bobby Brown, I think, is the actor who played her. But it still doesn't quite look like her, so, yeah. But that is the picture. I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!